16 days after signing the consent forms for the transplant surgery, Sarah was awoken at 5:45 in the morning by a nurse with the news that Toronto General Hospital had a pair of lungs for her.
Chronic renal failure, so she came in with a creatinine.
I kept telling the nurse when she woke me, I'm like, no, this isn't happening. And she asked me, she's like, you don't want to do this? I'm like, well, I do want to do this, but this is not supposed to happen this fast. I'm supposed to have months. And she's, well, no, it's time to go now. So it was the longest time in my life, but the shortest time in my life. It just all kind of, I'd sit there and I'd say, okay, I want to do this and I want to get it done so I'll feel better. And then I kept saying to my dad over, I don't want to wake up and hurt, because I knew that there was going to be a lot of pain, and that was more my focus, was thinking, okay, how am I going to deal with the pain afterwards?
On September 21st, 2003, at 12:30 p.m., Sarah was wheeled into the operating room. In September 2003, Sarah Murray was placed on the transplant list at UHN for a pair of lungs. The 26-year-old cystic fibrosis patient had 6 months left to live, which is also the usual wait time for a donor organ. However, considering UHN's significant role in this medical procedure, Sarah couldn't have been in more capable hands.
From 1988 to 2005, it's actually changed to cystic fibrosis being the lowest risk group of patients for lung transplantation, where their operative survival is almost 100% and their 5-year survival is in the range of 80%.
On September 21st, 2003, Sarah underwent a 10-hour double lung transplant at UHN. The 9-person surgical team was led by thoracic surgeon Dr. Andrew Pierre.
Sarah's transplant went very smoothly and I might say ideal. She had excellent lung function immediately after the transplant and was able to come off the ventilator in less than a day.
I had the transplant on a Sunday. On Monday, I woke up briefly when my whole family came in. The nurse woke me up. I looked at them all. I kind of saw them and then went back to sleep till the Tuesday. And the Tuesday morning, I woke up and I was wide awake. And right away, I was still intubated at that time. I was breathing on my own. It was later that day they pulled the tube. But it was immediate. You felt the difference. Like, you could breathe. You could take a deep breath in, and my body was fighting itself because my body knew to breathe shallow because that's all it could do. And then it was like my dad said he'd watch, and every third breath I'd a big breath and then be little breath, kind of, because my body didn't know how to sort it out. And I remember before the surgery them telling me I'd have to learn to breathe again, and I thought, well, that's silly. Who has to learn to breathe again? You know how to breathe, but you actually do have to learn to breathe again because your body doesn't know how to take that deep breath anymore because of years and years of the inability to do so.
Sarah's recovery from her double lung transplant was remarkable. 3 days after her surgery, she was sitting up in bed. By day 4, she could walk on the spot. Day 5, she was walking the halls. By day 8, her last chest tube was removed. And by the 16th day after her transplant surgery, Sarah Murray went home.
You can't even tell that Sarah's a lung transplant recipient. She's a normal human being living her life. And I think that's absolutely wonderful.
What we'll learn from Sarah will also benefit the patients who are now in the queue, so to speak, awaiting transplant, because we'll understand how Sarah responded, what happened to her, and we can learn from that and the approaches we take to intercede either at the time of transplantation or shortly thereafter.
Let's see, make sure we get it big enough. Oh, that's wide enough. Okay, now we got to build it high enough. Can you help me build it high? My life is completely different. Well, first of all, I'm not spending 3 hours a day doing treatments. I mean, I take a lot of medications, but that takes minutes in the morning and minutes at night. And I'm so active. I just go all the time. I can't sit still for any period of time.
1, 2, 3, 4,
now I can do anything. I mean, my nephew, just before the surgery, he had just turned 1, and I was watching him in the summer for my sister. And I remember, we'd play on the main floor, and his nap would come, and I'd have to carry him upstairs to bed. And it was 14 stairs, and I remember I would pick him up, and we'd get to the top stair, and him and I would sit on the top stair together for a couple of minutes till I could catch my breath enough to pick him up and walk the 10 steps it took to get him into his crib. And now he's almost 3 years old, and I pick him up and we run up the stairs and throw him in bed and run back downstairs, and I never think twice about it, and I never stop, and I just keep on moving. It's all the little things that you do every day that there was such an effort before that I just fly around doing and don't even think about now. And even just with Owen, the fact that I was here to see my second nephew born, it was amazing. That's when my sister found out she was pregnant the second time, and I remember saying to my mom, like, wow, I may not have been here, because I had 6 months. When they did the surgery, they said I had probably 6 months left to live had I not had the surgery at that point. So I would never have been here to see him, which is amazing in itself.
On November 8th, 2005, Sarah welcomed into the world her second niece, Piper, making her an aunt for the 4th time.
It's been over 1.5 years since I had my surgery, and I feel amazing, and every day is a gift, and I look forward to doing more and seeing more, and I actually thank my donor family every day when I wake up for each day that I have with my family and with my friends, and just the fact that they thought of somebody else during such an awful time in their lives. And I thank them every day, and I honor their daughter's memory, and I carry the lantern for her.
Sarah's gift of life continues, for on April 22nd, 2006, she married her fiancé of 1 year, Kevin Carruthers. The young girl who was unable to participate in school sports is now a trainer at her local gym. Sarah's double lung transplant is a modern medical miracle, and it happened right here at Toronto's own University Health Network, a world leader in lung transplantation. UHN's staff of doctors and researchers have dedicated themselves to finding the answers to prolong and enrich their patients' lives. I'm Sheila Walsh. Thanks for watching.
I kept pace with my parents. They didn't have to stop and wait for me, and I didn't cough the whole time, so it was amazing.
I've always set a long-term goal of our program, and is to put ourselves out of business. And by that I mean it would be nice if we didn't have to do transplantation.
And she never knew a time where she had the pulmonary or lung capacity that she has now, and that is a remarkable change.
It really is what it's all about. I mean, it's wonderful to see us be able to give people a second chance.
This was my first step into my new life. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I feel amazing, and every day is a gift, and I look forward to doing more and seeing more.